Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Nigh, and I want to welcome you to my podcast. It's kind of a new venture for me, but I want to just briefly introduce myself, and just kind of tell you a little about what I'm planning to talk about in these podcasts. So, first of all, I am a naturopathic doctor, also have a master's in Oriental Chinese medicine. I got those degrees I got in 2001. Prior to that, I had done undergrad at Notre Dame. I did a master's program at ASU, and then to Portland, Oregon to study the naturopathic degree and the Chinese medicine degree. I then went into clinical practice and had a big clinic in Portland for 20-ish years, primarily focused on the treatment of cancer, but also, mold illness and Lyme disease and lots of chronic illnesses. And I not long ago closed that down and have since moved to the East Coast and now have just a telehealth based practice, which you can find at gregnye.com. In addition to doing my clinical work, I also do a lot of publishing, researching and publishing, peer review kind of stuff. And usually, not always, but usually in collaboration with a few other researchers. And the problem with these papers, of course, I think that they're revealing things that are very, very relevant to the general public and everybody should know about it. The problem is the papers are really technical because I'm working with these really smart people who have a lot of technical expertise, and that goes into the papers and it makes them very solid scientifically, but it doesn't make them very accessible to a wide audience. So one of the things that I'll be doing throughout this podcast periodically is picking one of these papers and kind of translating it to a wider audience and hopefully allowing people to better understand why this stuff is important. And along the way, in talking about those papers, I will also be talking about the unbelievable scientific censorship, because we're talking about topics that were very hot button topics. So things like potential injuries caused by the mRNA vaccinations that were introduced through COVID. We have multiple papers that detailed lots of possible big risks, many of which have now played out. So I will be talking about both the papers themselves, and we'll be kind of letting you know about what's happening behind the scenes within academia that is really actively trying to prevent these ideas from making it to a wider audience. So that will be coming up in the podcast. I also am always combing the headlines every day, just the medical, not just the medical news, but science generally. And there are a lot of topics that I personally just happen to be very interested in, cosmology and genetics and archaeology and all kinds of topics that I just happen to have an interest in. And I'm always looking at headlines, and periodically, maybe weekly, maybe every other week, we'll be doing just a review of, I'll pick, 5 or 10 articles that caught my eye and just explain to you why I think they're important or why I think it's a load of crap. So that will be coming up. And then I happen to read a lot, so books, I suspect there's going to be a book review or two that will make its way into the podcast, just explaining why I think a particular book is fantastic and everyone should read it, or why I think a book is a piece of crap and nobody should read it. Not that I'm going to never tell people don't read a book. Books are always important. Whether they're good books or bad books, you always learn more when you read them. But book reviews will be part of this. And in fact, I've written many book reviews, many dozens that are out there on the webs if you want to go looking for them. So that's kind of a big overview of what I plan to cover in this podcast. Of course, I have to do the obligatory point like this and say, if you want to get engaged, leave a comment, offer a topic that you would like me to cover, offer a critique of what I've said and you think it's a load of crap, whatever it is, feel free to put it in the comments. And if you would like to follow along, then subscribe to the channel and let your 27 best friends know about it as well and get them to sign up. So I look forward to this process, and I will see you along the way.